Look, I think we've all lost count of how many times we have blamed our teammates for losing a fight or potentially losing the game. But that's just one side of the coin. How about the other side being, how many times have you sold the team? If you haven't realized by now, every role comes with their own set of expectations. And I can tell you right now, most of you are breaking those expectations or not meeting them without even realizing it. So today in this video, we're going to be talking about the 3 mistakes you guys are making on each role. So the first role we're going to be talking about today is, you guessed it, Vanguard. Now, when it comes to Vanguard, you have a lot more expectations than just frontlining. That is not all you do. You actually have to be involved in the game like your DPS, and you have to make decisions that will better help your team overall. So the first mistake you're making as a Vanguard is your lack of spatial awareness. Now, when you're playing Vanguard, you need to identify when is it okay to overextend and when it's okay to play passive with your team. Look, one of the expectations of playing Vanguard is to take as much damage as you can without dying. You're the biggest bodies on this game. You need to be taking as much damage as possible. And that means taking unnecessary and necessary damage for your team. And to effectively do that, you need to be in the right positions at the right time when you're with your team. You need to be taking most damage. Look, you can dive in first all you want if you're overextending, but don't blame your DPS when they don't follow up on it, because they're going to be out of position just as much as you are when you overextended. You cannot do that as a Vanguard. You need to set the pace for your team and directionize, that's not a word, and you need to put them in the right direction to win the fight successfully. Now, the second mistake you're making on Vanguard is ignoring the backline threats to your support or your pokes for DPS, aka peeling. You're not peeling for your team whatsoever. Now look, I don't care if they're not pinging or anything like that. It is your expectation to peel for your team no matter what. Now, there's different types of peeling. You don't need to play Thing for you to peel. You can play Mag by bubbling, by using his L1 or his left click or whatever it is on PC. But you need to be peeling, and you need to know how to do that on each Vanguard, because they all do it in different ways. And lastly, mistake number 3 is playing the Vanguard role like you're playing the DPS role. Like I said in the beginning, your role is not to kill people. Your role is to frontline, take space, and to peel as much as you can for your backline. Look, I'm not saying don't go out there and put pressure on their DPS and backline, or, even get kills yourself. But I'm just saying, don't expect to get 3, 4, 5 kills with Strangel or Magball every single time. Now, that is cool to get, but that's not the objective of those ultimates. As long as you can get maybe 1 or 2, and those picks being the support, that is so much value on Vanguard's ults. Even with Emma ult, if you use her ability to even trap just the support, and your DPS goes in and picks up the kills, that is so much value. It's not always about kills. It's not always about making the glorious play of the game. It's just about causing too much pressure for the enemy team. And that's exactly how you're supposed to play Vanguard. Moving on to the most popular role in every hero shooter, DPS. Now, I'm not going to waste any time in this role, so let's get right into it. Mistake number 1, you don't know what to play in certain comps. Most people in DPS are just one tricks and specialty players, which means they can only play about 1 to 2 roles at that, or 1 to 2 characters at that in that role. Now, this problem doesn't really happen a lot as you climb the ranks in this game, but for the middle ranks, this is going to be important to learn more than 2 characters in the DPS role, because you're not always going to be able to play what you want to play. And then at that, you're not always going to be the person to carry on your team. Now, I know that you are DPS, but you're not always going to be the one to carry the team. Now, I'm not saying for your role the expectation is not to get kills, because that's literally your job, is to get kills. I'm just saying the way to go about it, you're doing it wrong. So mistake number 1 is not knowing what to play in certain situations. Now, mistake number 2 for DPS, and that is target prioritization. Now, this depends on what, of course, DPS you're playing, so I'm going to break it down into 2 to 3 buckets. Now, if you're playing poke, you're going to want to target the tanks, especially if they're playing shields or not, and their other DPS. Most of the time, you're not going to pick off the support as they're playing super far back into the team, and you can't really poke them out like that. Now for dive. Of course, obviously, you're going to want to pick off their DPS, especially if they're playing poke, Or, of course, their backline. Backline is going to be your target prioritization. But most of you guys are just trying to farm the tanks for your ultimates. And that's not really how that works. You need to be constantly causing pressure on their backline to force ults and to make them go out of position. Because that's ultimately the goal of this game, is to get people out of position so you can get easy picks. And lastly, mistake number 3. You want to play this role like it's a deathmatch of Call of Duty. You're only thinking about getting picks and you're not thinking about your team whatsoever. You're always wanting to go behind them with no follow-up from your team. If you're trying to follow up all the time and your team is nowhere near to follow up on what you're doing, you're just getting no value. And it doesn't even matter if you get the kill because your team can't capitalize off of it because you're all the way up there by yourself. You need to be making sure people are in close enough range so that they can capitalize off of the kills that you're getting, especially if you're playing dive characters. Now lastly, we have the support role, and boy oh boy do I have some juicy mistakes that you guys are making. Now I'm only saying that because I main support role, so I know day on day what type of mistakes we are making. Now to set things straight before I even start talking about those, I want to start off with the expectations. You have the biggest expectations in this game, and probably with any hero shooter like this game. You have to get good ults off, you can't double ult, and you have to be making sure you're looking at all your surroundings, because that is most important. You cannot die first at all if possible. So going with that, mistake number 1 is going to be your lack of awareness. Now you have to be looking at your surroundings at all times because 9 out of 10 times you are going to be the target priority for most people in this game. And you have to be okay with that, which means you have to be looking left, right, up, down, sideways, diagonal every second of the game. I know it's a lot, but that is one of the expectations of support. You cannot die first, and you have to be looking at your surroundings because your ultimate is one of the most important abilities of this game. And if you're out of position or get picked off early, because because of your teammates, but because of your awareness, and you're going to get absolutely cooked. So pay attention to your surroundings, actually communicate if people are flanking you, and you will be A-okay most of the time. Mistake number 2, you're playing this role reactively instead of proactively. And what I mean by that is you're looking to react to something before you enable something or initiate something for your team. And whether that's, reactively using your cooldowns or reactively using your ultimate, you cannot play hesitant and scary like that. You need to be confident and proactive in who you're playing so that you can make the best plays possible. Now, I know there's infinite situations in this game that can cause you to react reactively, and that is okay. But 9 times out of 10, there's going to be the same plays over and over throughout your games that you will need to learn so that you don't act reactively and you can react proactively before it even happens. So keep that in mind, and I promise you, you will make better plays for your whole team overall. Mistake number 3 for the support role is going to be you're overcommitting for bad teammates. And what I mean by that is you're overcommitting, trying to peel, getting out of good position for your own self, and trying to heal those that are out of position or is doing something you know you shouldn't be trying to overcommit for. So if you know your DPS or tank is trying to take a fight, you know they won't win, don't go out of position trying to keep them up or, heal them, because you both might end up dying, and that is not good for the team whatsoever. So if you can analyze the situation before it happens, or just analyze the situation as it's happening, if you think your support, or not your support, if you think your DPS or tank won't win that one-on-one or the 2v1 that they keep trying to win, then don't even try to go out of position to try to heal them, because that will get both of you guys killed, and then you will still end up getting blamed anyway. You will get blamed for not healing them, and you will get blamed for not pushing up with them. So keep that in your mental that, hey, I did everything I could, and if they want to blame me, that's on them for their own bad positioning. So don't go out your way trying to heal others that you know is not worth healing. Now that was all of my mistakes for each role, and I want you to go ahead and rewatch this video and go ahead and take something from it, because I really want you to crack down on these mistakes so that you can learn from them and utilize your role more efficiently so you can win more games and rank up. But I'm actually going to leave you one last mistake that every role is making, and that is not communicating. If you see something that the other role doesn't see, you need to be communicating that so that your team can utilize whatever they need to and capitalize off of it so you guys can overall win the fight or win the game in certain situations. I cannot tell you how many times I could have won a game because my teammates didn't call something out. It's so imperative that you use your mic or at least ping or at least type in the chat if something is not going the way you want it to, or if you think there's some changes that need to be changed within your comp or anything like that. You need to speak up and not be afraid to call out what you think will help the team. Even if you get it wrong sometimes, the fact that you spoke up makes so much of a difference because it will even make others speak up and maybe even put out their suggestions so you guys can change the fight or change the course of the battle and actually win the game. So keep that in mind. Please, please, please communicate with your game or your team, and I promise you, you will win more games. But wrapping up, I want to thank you guys for making it this far into the video. Go ahead and drop a like, comment, and subscribe for me so I can keep making videos like this. And let me know what you guys want more videos on. Do you guys want more educational videos like this? Do you guys want to see some high-level gameplay? Let me know in the comments down below, and I promise you, I will get on that for you guys. So like I said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.